control your plant success truly is all about the seeds that you start with. Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Tate with Backyard Farming Supply. Obviously, we all know that the seeds and the genetics that you grow in your garden is so important. And unfortunately, out here in Colorado, we can't start as early as some other amazing places in the country, like, Florida or California or somewhere like that, because we are zone 5B. But I'm speaking to everybody else in the country who is inland, who's still dealing with winter. The food for thought here is when you buy seed starts or vegetable plants that are young in age from your big box retailers, sometimes you're inheriting their problems. A way to control your plant success all the way till harvesting season truly is all about the seeds that you start with. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about how you can take an area of your house and make it your seed starting station. So for me, that is my sunroom. It's not insulated. It's not connected to my heating and my air conditioning for the rest of the house. So it kind of makes it a 2-season room, and it has a lot of temperature spiking and stuff like that happens. It's not the best in the winter, not the best in the summer, but great in the spring and great in the fall. So we're gonna talk about how you get rid of the temperature fluctuation and maximize unused space in your house for starting your seedlings with great variety, control, success, and not inheriting the problems from the big box stores. This is the area of my sunroom that's been completely forgotten about. I've got random chairs in places that makes me not even be able to use my awesome egg chair. I've got stuff stored everywhere, stacked up. But first, before we remove everything, we're gonna come up with our game plan. Where's your water gonna come from? Where's your power for some of your grow lights? Third off, what's in your room? Where is it gonna go? And what are you bringing in is the last but most important thing. So I'm gonna give you guys a little example of my seed starting rack. All right, guys, so I wanted to show you my seed starting rack. This is really simple. These metal racks you can buy at any big box store. These grow tables you can buy online or at backyardfarmingsupply.com, or possibly even your local hydroponics store or garden supply store. Then we've got simple T5 grow lights here. I like to use a mix between the red and the blue in a 4-light combo like this, or if I can only find one bulb, I'll just do the blue bulbs because those encourage seedling growth. The next thing to consider is how are you gonna water it? So these are all plumbed with these little hoses here that allow automation to be very easy. And bottom of the line, we've got a reservoir down here, which I'm gonna probably replace and put it to a big trash can because I'm gonna have multiple seed racks. You have your reservoir. Your reservoir is where you keep your nutrient solution. You have a pump in there and it distributes water up to the top, and then because of where these tubes are, it does not allow it to overflow, and the water, once it overflows, just dribbles down into the next tray using gravity. So on and so forth, and then it can end up back in a catch basin like this, where that might have a pump that pumps it back to your reservoir, or this can be plumbed directly to your reservoir. There are advantages to both ways. We'll go into that on a further video. Pretty simple. 4 layers of seed starting, 4 grow lights on a metal rack. We're gonna use clone domes with either cocoa block starters like we sell on backyardfarmingsupply.com, or we're gonna use rock wool, or we can also use any type of seed starting medium that you can get locally, as long as they have the right moisture and environment. There's small differences, but those small differences can make up to be large differences in root system mass. So we're gonna get this thing cleaned out. What do you guys like to do for seed starting racks or stations? Let us know in the comments down below. We are at the next piece of my seed starting station, which is once the seeds get bigger, I like to put them into an up pot, a 1-gallon pot, or a 4x4 or 4x6 cocoa block, which you can get on backyardfarmingsupply.com. And then I like to put them into a automatic flooding or a flood table format, which is something like these here. This is where plants become mature, bigger, and able to be brought out into the garden at a lot bigger plant size with a lot bigger root system that then goes out into the next step of the backyard farming system. These are actually 4x8 grow trays, and these 4x8 grow trays are really good for up potted plants, and they can fit a lot of 4x4 blocks into them. And I'm gonna use this rack right here, and I'm gonna set it up inside of the seed starting station with 2 levels instead of the 4 from the seed starting rack, where my plants can get a little bit bigger under LED lighting. And so that way, when they come outside, they're nice, big, mature plants that have got a lot of chance for survival and really big yields and success, but they've been well taken care of the entire time. And bam, just like that, all this stuff magically appeared. Isn't that crazy? Here's the next part of the seed starting station, is you gotta make sure you've got all of your equipment in place and at your house so that you can get the seed start action on. So as I went into earlier, this is one of the 50 count cell trays where you actually sprout your seeds. And I like to put them in the grow dome, and there's a couple different ways you can do it. You can do it either in the round tray insert. I prefer 50 count tray. Anything higher, I feel kind of the seeds get a little bit crowded out personally. And then you want a little tray below it that's a drain tray. In this particular case, it's actually got slits in it. The reason that this has slits in it is so that all the dirt or debris that's in these seed starts gets caught in this bottom tray before it goes into your flood and drain tray. So that way it doesn't clog the tubes or the pumps or the air stones or the reservoir gets nasty and murky. There's another way to do it, and that is with these particular really fancy and cool things, actually from Grodan. This is for rock wool seed starting. This is, I believe, a 72 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And as you can see, 72 count versus 50 count, you just get a lot less space per seedling. I feel that these give a little bit better seed growth and vigor with a little bit bigger root system. This is usually meant for a little bit larger of a garden where you need to fit more seedlings in place. It's not that it's wrong, just my personal preference is a 50 count, but I really like how these actually have these flaps on the bottom. What's really nice about the 72 count start by Grodan is A, it's got the bottom in there, but B, it has these flaps that actually cause the thing to sit up off of the bottom of the tray. It's very important because if these rock wools or seed starts just sit down in the water all the time, then they get root rot, they don't grow that well, and ultimately throw them all away because they don't look very good, or they get really leggy. So there's about as far as we can go for the seed start pods. Another way that we can go, and this is really better for clones, but Easy Clone does now have a seed starting pod or clone collar that actually has, it looks more like a traditional plug. So the Seed Start Clone collar plug can go into this aeroponic seed starter or cloner. All you do there, we'll get to this in a further video, is pre-soak your cubes, plop them in here, let the misters and the aeration happen. Then once the roots grow out of the clone collar or plug and down into the rest of the reservoir solution, then you've got really amazing root growth, and you can get roots that are this long out of Easy Cloners, depending on how long you leave them in there. So the next thing, obviously, you need a rack, then LED lighting. These LED lights are actually 640 watt LED lights that are gonna be mainly used for the 4x8 grow trays like I showed you earlier. Then the last step to top it all off is you need 2 types of pump. You need water pumps, that these will probably sit in your submersible reservoir, or you need air pumps like the one that's in this box. Another thing that you're gonna need is a timer. The timer controls when these lights turn on and off, and I like to really try and time it with the sun, so that way you're not having weird lighting cycles, and that's a whole nother topic for later. Speaking of weird lighting cycles, we're gonna wrap it for today. If you guys have more questions on some of the equipment or ideas for your seed starting station, let us know in the comments down below, or hit us up at backyardfarmingsupply.com. Thank you.